Joe McQuaid, publisher of New Hampshire's Union Leader, isn't afraid to mix it up with presidential candidates. So while his paper has endorsed Chris Christie in Tuesday's primary, McQuaid has also been in a war of words with Donald Trump, and he joins me now here in Manchester. So you've called Donald Trump a crude blowhard, a con man, a schoolyard rich kid bully. Is that the role of a newspaper publisher?
Yes. In return, I got lowlife.
Psycho.
Psycho was the latest one. I didn't know until recently that I was a sleazebag, a liar, and my papers got 3 months max to live.
So is it not uncomfortable for you to be mixing it up in this way with a presidential candidate who doesn't seem to like you or your paper and who you don't seem to respect?
It's not uncomfortable at all for me to tell it like it is with a presidential candidate who has no business being a presidential candidate.
You don't even think Donald Trump should be in the race?
No, sir.
But how can...
And the media have done just a terrific job. I think A.P. Hill said it earlier.
A.P. Stoddard, yeah.
A.P. Stoddard, rather, of... A.P. Hill was a general in the Civil War, of the media for 6 months. Trump, 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 Trump. The night after Iowa, Howie, all 3 cable networks show Trump live for half an hour in New Hampshire. It's all Trump all the time, free media. He told me once that he didn't have to buy advertising because he was getting it all for free.
Right. But how can Trump expect fair coverage in the news columns of your paper when you're denouncing him in such personal terms?
The same way that Eugene McCarthy in 1968 got fair coverage in the Union Leader while William Loeb, my predecessor, was calling Gene a skunk and a skunk on the front page. McCarthy wrote a book. You can look it up, as Casey would say, and he cited the Union Leader's fair coverage in the news columns of his campaign, which was a long shot at the time.
All right, so maybe you've toned it down since the days of skunk. Now, after your paper endorsed Chris Christie, you also got into it with the Newark Star-Ledger editorial page, which said your paper knows nothing about his gubernatorial record in New Jersey and didn't even mention the Bridgegate scandal. So you got into kind of a feud there.
Yeah, the paper did. This was my young editorial page editor, Grant Bossy, who took up the cudgels for our side in that. And I think they were furious in New Jersey that we dared endorse somebody that they don't like.
Now, ABC News dumped the Union Leader from last night's debate. Originally, you were a co-sponsor. This was after you came out for Christie and came out strongly against Trump. You were not happy about that.
I thought ABC was spineless, just based on what Trump was demanding.
Wait, so you think that ABC as a network was caving to pressure from Donald Trump because you,
yes.
Joe McQuaid, were criticizing him?
Yes, yeah, well, that's what Trump said. I was shocked. ABC called my editor at 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, not to discuss the issue, but to tell us we're out. That's real class. I was amazed at that. And I think they were also upset because we co-sponsored the Democratic one with ABC here the month before, and they didn't like the fact that we were insisting on having New Hampshire questions and New Hampshire presence. I think Trump was the tipping point, but ABC knew that we would insist on all the major candidates, anybody but Carly, being on that stage.
Carly Fiorina, of course, unhappy with ABC over the criteria that I didn't think were quite fair, and excluding her from last night's debate. Look, the Union Leader's endorsement matters. In 1996, Pat Buchanan famously held up the Union Leader after he won the primary here with your paper's endorsement. But in the era of cable and digital news, isn't the power of the printed press somewhat diminished?
Oh, greatly diminished.
Sure.
But in a very crowded field with this many candidates, it can make a difference bigger than it's made sometime in the past. The Union Leader hasn't had a great track record over the years. William Loeb endorsed Sam Yorty. How'd he do?
I don't think he won a nomination.
How about John Ashbrook on the Republican side?
You've had some clunkers.
Oh, we have.
Honest, a candid interview. Joe McQuaid, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.